Man, you really felt like from a Washington Capitals perspective that they needed to have this one, and they showed up and they got it. Caps win 4-1 over the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. Now, before I get into it here and say some things that are undoubtedly going to anger Carolina Hurricanes fans, let me just give them their due for a moment here. Because I just, over the weekend, watched them absolutely skate the Toronto Maple Leafs franchise into the ground, and it was very funny. And it was very funny because I just endured an entire summer of Maple Leafs media up here in Canada being like, oh man, if the Leafs just could have gotten past Florida, then they would have obviously mopped the floor with the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are a fraudulent team. They're not even good. The Washington Capitals are just bad. Look at how badly the Caps are being outshot by Carolina. The Leafs obviously would have done the reverse to the Hurricanes. And it's like, no, you absolute morons. That is just what the Carolina Hurricanes do. The Caps are not bad. That is just what the Hurricanes do. And so to see the Hurricanes doing exactly that to the Toronto Maple Leafs over the weekend, and now all of Toronto is holding an emergency referendum on the matter. It was very funny. But our Washington Capitals, they gave the Carolina Hurricanes a taste of their own medicine tonight. Took the Carolina Hurricanes game and shoved it right back in their face for large portions of this game. The shots on goal did eventually even out at the end, but for the Carolina Hurricanes, that was largely just score effects as they were trailing. So, let's get into it, babes. So, if you caught the podcast this week, which if you didn't, by the way, it is up on the YouTube channel here too. So head over there after you're finished here if you are interested. But if you caught the podcast that we did before the Caps played this game in Carolina, then you would have heard us talking about the issues that the Caps were going to need to fix if they were going to start winning games. So let's check in on how they did with beginning to correct those issues in Carolina, shall we? Well, what was the first issue on the list? Everybody knows what the first issue was and has been and probably will still continue to be. We can't call it fixed after just one game here, but yeah, what was the number one issue? Everybody, like I said, knows what it is. It has been the power play, or the powerless play, as I called it during the podcast. And by the way, speaking of penalties, what is with Carolina fans booing literally every single call and perceived non-call throughout a hockey game? Every single one. These people will boo anything. I'm pretty sure they'd boo their own mother if they had the chance. Mom's yelling down into the basement like, honey, dinner's ready. Boo! Fuck you, Mom. Hey, man, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. Boo! Yeah, so the reason we called you in here today is twofold. One, to give you a very big raise, and two, to give you a very big promotion. Boo! I hate money. Anyways, you get it. They will boo anything. So, the power play. Now again, we are not going to declare this thing fixed after one game. That is for sure. But they did score a big power play goal tonight, and it did come at a very timely point in the game, right? When they really not needed one, but really wanted one to extend their lead there when the Hurricanes had got within just a single goal, right? So the Hurricanes, at this point, they were just a bounce away from tying up this game. The Caps get a power play. It's a big power play. Obviously, they really want to go there, like I said, and they came through at a very big moment in this game. And yeah, we'll talk about that goal specifically and all of the goals for the Caps here tonight in just a moment here. But yeah, sticking with the power play for just a second here, okay? So yeah, it goes 1 for 5 tonight, which, you know, not great, but it is a lot better than it has been, right? It was not 0 for again. And like I said, the power play goal that they did get came at a huge time. And even more than that, like put aside even the 1 for 5, on the night, because they could have had, honestly, a much better percentage than that tonight. Like, they were zipping the puck around like we have not seen very often this season on the power play. So that was very encouraging. A lot more movement than there has been previously. So that as well was very encouraging. Just moving their feet, right? And like I said, zipping the puck around as well. So just creating a lot more looks for themselves on the power play. Only one went in, like I said, so 1 for 5 in total on the night. But yeah, even more so than just the goal, like I said, it was the way that they were moving the biscuit around and really generating some good looks for themselves, something that we have not seen very often at all this season on the power play so far. So that was very encouraging. The number 2 issue that we had talked about during the podcast was the penalty kill for the Washington Capitals. Penalty kill tonight in Carolina was 5 for 5. So that is huge. That is exactly what you want to see from our Washington Capitals on the penalty kill. And yeah, there was a sequence there where the Carolina Hurricanes, they had 3 straight power plays. The Caps killed them all off. There were several kills that were coming at really, really important, really key times during this game, with the Caps holding on to a 1-goal lead, right? So yeah, just a really, really great performance tonight on the penalty kill. 5 for 5, like I said, for our Caps. Line chemistry, or more specifically, the lack of it, with the big injury to Pierre-Luc Dubois. That is something that we had talked about during the podcast as well. Just how the Caps, have seemed to be lacking some chemistry within these line combinations. Like I said, without PLD, right? That is a big loss. We can't, overstate that. But yeah, we really needed them to start, finding some combinations here, sticking with them a little bit, and just seeing what they could make work here and start building some chemistry. And I think we saw the beginnings of that here tonight. And even in the last couple of games now, certainly it is starting to look a little bit better for the Caps. That top line of Alex Ovechkin, Dylan Strome, and Anthony Beauvillier, we know how good they are together. They are the number 1 line in the entire National Hockey League this season in generating expected goals for at 5-on-5. So that's like looking at their underlying analytics, right? How many chances they generate for themselves compared to how many they give up the other way, right? They are number 1 in the entire National Hockey League, like I said, in expected goals for percentage. So that is absolutely huge, obviously. But we know that, right, about that line. Like, we know that they are very good together. So tonight, to me, it was very encouraging to see. And like I said, not only tonight, but I think we saw the beginnings of it these last couple of games here, was Ethan Frank on that 4th line with Nick Dowd and Brandon Duhaime. They really appeared to be starting to gel together. Ethan Frank has brought something to that line on the right wing there. A lot of speed, right? He's got really, really, really good foot speed. Super quick dude out there. Obviously, he was the AHL's fastest skater previously, and set a world record, I believe, as well, if I'm remembering that correctly, for the fastest lap by a hockey player at the professional level. So yeah, he is super, super quick, lightning quick out there. And he is adding a lot of speed to that line right now, and they are generating a lot more chances offensively than they had been previously. So yeah, that line has looked really good. They get involved again tonight. We'll talk about that. They generated a goal, obviously, in the previous game against the Tampa Bay Lightning as well, and they generate another one here tonight. So again, we'll get to the goals here, but just in general, that line, both analytically and to the eye test, which is important as well, has looked really, really good. And speaking of line combinations, something else that we had talked about during the podcast was getting more ice time and more opportunities with better line mates for Ryan Leonard. And now, while he didn't get more ice time total tonight, in fact, he only played at the end of the night 9 minutes and 19 seconds. So that's not a ton of ice time overall. But what he did get tonight, Ryan Leonard, was more opportunity on the power play. And him being on the power play directly results in Jakob Chychrun's power play goal, which we will talk about, like I said. But yeah, Ryan Leonard on the power play tonight, it looked really, really good. And like I said, I don't think that it is a coincidence that the power play as a whole as well looked a lot better tonight with Ryan Leonard getting a more of a look on it. So Let's talk about the goals for the Caps tonight, and then we will wrap this thing up. So yeah, first period, Brandon Duhaime for the second straight game scores the first goal of the game for either team, puts the Caps up 1-0, and this goal here had the exact same scoring line as his goal in the previous game at Tampa Bay, that being Brandon Duhaime with the goal from Ethan Frank with the primary assist, like I said, playing great on that line, and Nick Dowd as well with the secondary assist. So Caps up 1-0, and that is how the first period would end. Second period, huge insurance goal here for the Washington Capitals, courtesy of a wicked shot by Dylan Strome, and just a beautiful all-around play here. John Carlson with an awesome pass, up ice, breakout pass from his own zone, way up ice, like I said, to Alex Ovechkin, and Alex Ovechkin with a very nice primary assist here, dishing up to Dylan Strome to put Dylan Strome in all alone on the breakaway. And yeah, Strome, he absolutely wires this thing, a wrist shot past Freddie Anderson. That is a beautiful shot, top shelf, right underneath the bar, puts the Caps up 2-0. So Dylan Strome's fifth goal of the season. Alex Ovechkin, like I said, on the primary assist, and John Carlson on the secondary assist. And how about 40-year-old Alex Ovechkin having 8 assists already through 16 games played? He is on pace for 40 assists as a 40-year-old. That is absolutely incredible. And yeah, most of them have been primaries, primary assists, that is. And yeah, another primary here for the Great 8. Hurricanes get one back before the end of the period. Nikolai Ehlers, that cuts the Caps lead to 2-1. Third period, this huge power play goal here for the Washington Capitals. Like I said, it is Jakob Chychrun who ultimately gets the goal here, but look at the work by the rookie Ryan Leonard. We have been clamoring for somebody on this power play to shoot the motherfucking puck, and Ryan Leonard does exactly that. He rips this thing on Freddie Anderson, causes a massive rebound from the Canes netminder, and that rebound pops right out to Jakob Chychrun, who hammers it home and puts the Caps up 3-1. So huge goal there to extend their lead in the third period, give themselves a little bit of extra breathing room, right? Because we know that the Carolina Hurricanes have been very, very good on home ice. So that is a massive goal there that, again, cannot be overstated. And yeah, for Jakob Chychrun, that is his 4th goal already of this season as a defenseman. He is on pace for 20 goals again from the back end for the Washington Capitals. And yeah, Ryan Leonard, like I said, on the primary assist, and John Carlson as well gets another assist there on the secondary. And then about 30 seconds left in this game, the Carolina Hurricanes with their goaltender pulled, trying to tie this game up. Alex Ovechkin with a beautiful no-look shot from all the way down the ice into the Hurricanes' empty net, right into the middle of the cage there. Like I said, without even looking, a goal scorer just knows where the net is, right? And Alex Ovechkin certainly is a goal scorer, the greatest of all time, to be exact, in NHL history with now 901 goals in the National Hockey League. That is still absolutely insane to say out loud. It still blows my mind. But yeah, nobody has ever done it better goal scoring wise than Alexander Ovechkin. And yeah, a goal scorer, like I said, just knows where the net is, and he does not even have to look for the net here, just whips it down the ice, no look, like I said, and right into the middle of the cage. So as far as empty net goals go, that is a pretty beautiful one for Alex Ovechkin. And yeah, that would make it 4-1 for the Caps, and that would be, babes, your final score. And let's see, what else happened in this game? Oh, Martin Feravari beat the absolute brakes off of Logan Stankoven. Stankoven gushing blood there, looked like he just got hit by a car. And I love when the Carolina Hurricanes players get angry, because it really is just like watching a bunch of angry little Oompa Loompas out there. Ooh, we had our second almost goalie fight of the season, and again, NHL linesmen are just totally against fun. They stop it before it even gets started again, which was probably a good thing for Freddie Anderson, though, honestly, because Freddie Anderson, who gets injured by a gentle summer breeze. He got injured again in this one. And so the Canes, they had to put in Peter Kochetkov to finish it. And of course, we can't finish talking about this game without first talking about Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson, he of the very best goaltending stats in the entire NHL this season. He has been absolutely incredible, and he was absolutely incredible again tonight. But again, that is just becoming par for the course for this guy, really ever since he joined the Washington Capitals over a year ago now in that trade from the Vegas Golden Knights. This guy has been an absolute stud for the Caps. He should be on Team Canada and heading to the Olympics in February. We will see how that shakes out. But yeah, he was absolutely incredible again tonight. He stops 30 of 31 Hurricane shots, only allows just the one single goal again and again. That has been par for the course for him this season. He really doesn't give up more than one or two on any given night. He has played 11 games now, and he has only given up more than 2 goals just one time through those 11 games. And even then, it's not like he gave up 6, he gave up just 3. So even on that night, which was his worst night so far. So he blamed himself a lot for that third goal too in that game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which I just hated to see because like the dude has been an absolute rock for us. You don't need to take any blame, Logan, honestly. But I did love that he did that he took accountability for that goal that he didn't like, which he let in. The Caps, of course, they lost that game against the Tampa Bay Lightning by just that one single goal. So he was feeling bad about it after the game, and he wanted to come out and say, hey, you know what? That was my fault, and I will be better next game. And oh boy, was he ever. Again, not that he was bad at all in that game in Tampa Bay, but tonight, again, he allows just the one single goal, saves 30 of 31, like I said. And yeah, this guy has been just an absolute stud, man, an absolute rock back there for the Washington Capitals. It is still crazy to think about that the Vegas Golden Knights traded this guy away, and for just a couple of third-round picks. That is absolutely asinine, but we will take it, baby. He has been just absolutely incredible, like I said, ever since he put on that Washington Capitals jersey, right? He was pretty incredible for the Vegas Golden Knights as well, by the way. So again, that's why that trade didn't make a lot of sense from a Vegas Golden Knights standpoint. Beloved there as well, and beloved obviously here now in Washington. So yeah, he has been absolutely incredible, like I said, and he gets the win here again tonight, again allowing just the one Hurricanes goal. All right, babes, that is going to be it for this one. Big win, big 2 points for the Caps here tonight. Obviously, coming into enemy territory in Carolina, a tough building to play in and to get a win in, and the Caps do so here tonight, playing, like I said, a very strong hockey game, taking Carolina's game and shoving it right back in their face, like I said, for large portions of this game. So great to see. Can this be a turning point here for the Washington Capitals? I think it definitely could be. There was a lot to like tonight from a Capitals standpoint. And yeah, we will see them pick it back up against the Florida Panthers. That will be their next game here. So we will be back on the YouTube channel after that one with your post-game reaction video. Babes, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. Hey, if you like the video, click on that like button down below for me. If you really like the video, click on that subscribe button if you have not already done so. Or if you have already subscribed, share it with a friend or a family member, a fellow Caps fan, whoever it may be, coworker, whoever, right? Give it a share around for me if you don't mind. I really appreciate that. I know some of you guys have been doing that for sure because the channel has been growing a lot this season so far. So thank you all so much for your efforts there. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, as always, leave me your comments down below. What did you guys think of this performance by the Washington Capitals in Carolina? What do you foresee happening coming up here in Florida against the Panthers? Leave me your thoughts, babes. Let me know what you think. I always love reading your comments. And until next time, babes, and always, let's go, Caps.